So welcome back to our channel. What we're going to look at today are all the rules on how you solve for exponents. But remember, when dealing with exponents, you first need to identify the type of exponent question you're given. And the first one we're going to look at today is the one where we are multiplying exponents. And what are the rules for solving multiplication of exponents? Well, the trick here is look at the bases of each exponent. And after you've looked at those bases, what you need to do is simplify them. In other words, you need to make every single base that you see prime. After you've done that, you can simplify the problem. So let's go and take a look now at a few examples on how to do this. So the first example you'll see here is this one over here, where the base is 16. And what do? Well, how do we make 16 prime? Well, 16 is really 2 times by 2 times by another 2 times by another 2. Why is that the case? Because 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 times 2 is 16. So the simplified version of 16 is actually 2, and that is raised to the power of 4. And then we multiply this by. Now, do you remember the rule? Anything raised to the power of a 0 in exponents is equal to 1. So what we have over here is a 1. But don't forget that this 2 to the 4 was just the 16. We've still got to deal with this minus a quarter. So 2 to the 4 is actually then multiplied by minus a quarter. So what happens over here is you get 2 to the power of this 4 and this 4 cancel, and you're left with a minus 1. So you've got 2 to the minus 1, and then you are going to add to that the minus 10 to the 0, which we've said is 1. Now, what is 2 to the minus 1? Now, don't make the mistake that a lot of people do, which is that 2 to the minus 1 does not mean minus 2. What 2 to the minus 1 actually means is that it's 1 divided by. It's always 1 over whenever you see a minus sign. And what is it over? It's over this 2, and what you do is you change the minus 1 to a positive 1. So 2 to the minus 1 is actually equal to 1 over 2, which is equal to a half. So here what we're doing is we're adding a half, and we're adding 1 to a half, so the answer is 1 and a half. Or another way of writing this out is 3 over 2. Let's take a look also at what would you do if you had 2 to the minus 3. Well, remember, with any negative, what I've told you to do, it's 1 over. 1 over what? It's 1 over 2, and then change the minus 3 to a positive 3. So that is equal to 1 over 2 cubed is 8. Let's try one more. What happens if you had 2 to the negative 2? That's equal to 1 over, and then the 2 to the minus 2 becomes 2 to the 2. So you've got 1 over 2 squared is 4, and that's how you deal with that. So that's the first example we're going to take a look at today that deals with the multiplication of exponents. And whenever you're multiplying exponents, what you're going to do is look at that base. You're going to change the base into its prime numbers, and then you're going to simplify. The next example we'll look at is more of an exam type question. Let's go and take a look.